Back again, viewers, Andy's Vlogs and Food Reviews here today, and it's time for what's happening around the West Midlands. Hope everybody is keeping well and enjoying their day and enjoying their weekend. Now, I do apologise I didn't get around to doing it yesterday. I do try and get it done on a Friday, but unfortunately I just had that much to do and I just could not get around to doing it. But here we am anyway today. Right then, first of all, we're going to start in. I will obviously put pictures on the screen so you can see what we're talking about during the show. First of all, we're going to start in Willenhall. Now, a row of abandoned shops are to be replaced by new homes in Willenhall. A row of shops in Willenhall are set to make way for new homes in Willenhall. The former shops on Shelley Road and Keats Road, if given the go-ahead by Walsall Council, will be replaced after being empty for more than a decade. Right then, what's my opinion on this? Yeah, we're having a lot of new homes built, aren't we, in Willenhall, and around the country, should I say. There's that many shops I've noticed that have closed down now. We've talked about this before, haven't we, with the loss of lots of Woolworths, British Home Stores, Argos. Some of their shops have gone, and a few others as well. Some of the big name shops that used to be about in towns have all gone. And I've mentioned before, in my opinion, and my opinion only, we've seemed to be having so many new homes, houses, flats, apartments, etc., being built. Now, obviously, if it's been sat there for a decade, then obviously it's been a very long time that the shops have just been left and not been used. Then obviously my opinion is that they could make use of them. So if they can make use of homes, more homes, obviously it will help. I mean, obviously I know the waiting lists in the council are quite long, aren't they? I mean, it used to be a points-based system. I'm not sure whether it still is now or not, but the waiting lists are big. So yeah, so what do you think of new homes being built? Do you live in the Willenhall area? Do you live anywhere near Shelley Road or Keats Road? And what's your opinion on that? What do you think? Do you think there perhaps could be some more shops there? What's your opinion on that? If you could leave your thoughts in the comments below. Right then, on to story number 2, and West Midlands, to do with the West Midlands Police. Now, over 200 police officers intend to leave within the next 2 years, as morale has appeared to have dropped due to the government treatment and pay, according to a new survey. Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there, with morale being low. I mean, I know we've talked about the NHS at the moment. I mean, with the strikes going on, with morale being low over pay. What's my opinion on it? Well, the thing is, with a lot of our public service at the moment, such as the NHS, the police, the firemen, they do a good job, in my opinion. They do. I know the police is a very difficult job, especially, all around the country, especially in London, where I think that the knife crime and that's gone up and that in London. So I do appreciate that officers put their life at risk. I do know, obviously, that they obviously know what they're walking into when they take on the job, and they have to have specialist training. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to pay, everybody's feeling the crunch, aren't they, with the cost of living, which we will talk about later on in the show on another story which I want to talk about. Everybody's feeling the pinch, really, with the cost of living crisis, everything being up. I mean, when you go in the supermarkets now, everything is through the roof, if you ask me. It really is. I mean, the price of some things, even logs of butter and that, are quite expensive. So, but yeah, the way the government are treating a lot of people, unfortunately, at the moment, and obviously it appears it's in the police force as well, my opinion is that the treatment could be a lot better with the way they're treating people. They do seem to be bully boys. I mean, everybody at the moment is is not getting the rub of the green, I think, off the government, and things I think could be a lot better. And obviously, if the morale is low in the police force, then obviously the government need to find out what the problem is, and if it is the treatment is bad, then there needs to be some improvement between our police and our government, in my opinion. And if it's to do with pay, then obviously they need to discuss with the police perhaps a pay. But what do you make of that? Do you think the police justified their pay rise, or more pay and better treatment, or are you on the verge that the police get enough money and should just stop, cheer up and get on with it? What's your view on that? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Right, on to story number 3. Former football ground, Pelsall football ground, could be replaced by a brand new care home in Pelsall. New plans have surfaced to build a 66 new bed new care home after previous plans have been unsuccessful. There were previous plans to build a new Aldi in December last month, but was rejected. L&T Care Development Limited is looking to take the former Pelsall Villa Football Club. Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of elderly people now obviously find it very, very tough. I mean, as we talked about, just the cost of living, and I know a lot of elderly people do suffer very badly with loneliness and that. And these care facilities, I think, are always a good idea if it helps people get through life now, day by day. Then I'm all for the new care home. If it helps the people of Pelsall. Obviously, the flip side of it, where they're building it, if it's going to affect the locals or other people, then obviously they will have to assess it more. I mean, obviously, with the plans being rejected before, there's got to be a reason. I do know that they were talking about the people who lived in the area. So if it's going to have a negative impact on those who live in the area, and it's going to cause more problems with traffic and noise and things like that, which anything's possible, obviously with cars coming through and revving their engines, then yeah, I can understand the point of view. But if it's going to make things better for elderly people, and it's going to help people get through day by day and getting the treatment and the support that they need, and the help that they need, then yeah, I'm all for it. It would be better for Pelsall. So yeah. So what do you think of it in Pelsall? Do you live in Pelsall? And what do you hear of the reports of the new care home? Do you think it will be better, or are you living near where it's planning to be? And are you against it for the traffic or any other reason that you think? Right then, on to our next story in Sandwell. This is going to be one that's going to be talked about a lot, I would say, in the next few months. I think Sandwell Council, Conservatives in Sandwell have said a council tax freeze would ease the cost of living at the moment. Labour is finalising its budget and have not said whether they will increase it or not in the Sandwell area. Right, yeah, now this, like I say, we've been talking about cost of living, aren't we? I mean, I think it's quite dominant around the country now and around everywhere, really. Everything has gone up massively. Rent goes up at rented accommodations, mortgages are high. The shopping, you go around the supermarkets, the shopping is very, very high, and people are really feeling the strain, and a lot of us are having to go out and work extra hours to compensate the increase in everything. I mean, the fuel prices as well, we've talked about that on the show before. And yeah, I mean, the council tax goes up every year, doesn't it, normally? But But to be honest, how much more can we pay for everything? Because I think it's a huge struggle now. I mean, I'm having to work extra. I mean, I actually do 2 jobs myself, and I have to do it to try and compensate everything. And even I've had people say to me, you know, you should slow down a bit. And I simply can't, because with everything going up, you can't do it. And to me, when they do increase the wages in April, I don't think the increase in wages compensates the rise of the cost of living. If your council tax is going up, your electric and gas, that's been, you know, that we all know there's a problem with that at the moment. Obviously, a lot of that's come through the situation that's going on in Ukraine at the moment, and it's too much, isn't it, viewers? It's far too much to keep having to compensate. I mean, some of us have got kids, and we have to compensate and try and help our kids out more, because everybody is struggling. I mean, even when you go for some certain things from the shop now, you go and buy stuff from a shop and you think, God, that never used to be that. That's gone up quite a lot. And yet some people could say, well, I'll go to another shop then. Yeah, okay. But everybody's having to put their price up to compensate this big, massive increase of everything. So, yeah, I mean, I do think, the mainstream media, I do think, know how to stir the pot, and I really wish they would stop it. But they like to gossip, and I do know a lot of the press do that, and you know, it does irritate some people. But the cost of living is a major problem, if you ask me. It really is. It needs to be sorted very, very soon. Do I think at the moment it's going to get sorted? I'm not confident myself. I believe it's only going to get worse, unfortunately, and I think things need to dramatically change. With the council tax, obviously in Sandwell, we did do a story, didn't we, before, on the bins and the green pins. I mean, why are people being charged more and more? They just can't afford it. They can't afford it, and they're having to borrow, and it's going to increase in borrowing on credit cards, loans, things like that are all going to increase if this cost of living don't get sorted. So, in my opinion, the council tax, the shopping, the cost of the energy, fuel, everything needs to be, the government really need to get their head sorted out and get this tackled very quickly, because it is going to cause, well, it's already started to cause major problems. I think, you know, people could end up, I think some people already have, but more people could end up losing their homes because they can't fund it, and there's only so many hours in a day that you can work to compensate this. So yeah, so what's your opinion on this? Do you think the council tax is fair? Do you think it should be freezed? What is your opinion on it? If you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Right then, viewers, I think that's about everything I've covered in today's show. Thank you very much for watching what's happening around the West Midlands updates. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Thanks to everybody who subscribed to the channel of late. I really do appreciate it. And thanks to all the lovely comments. I'll see you on the next one, and it's bye for now.